They said my inheritance was worthless swampland. A soggy curse passed down from my great-uncle Ezra, who lived out his final years like some kind of mad hermit. But standing at the edge of Thornfield Lake for the very first time, I realized they were wrong. 800 acres of untouched spring-fed water stretched out before me like a mirror to the heavens. The old homestead sat proudly on a rise, overlooking it all, while the rusted earth dam my uncle had built groaned quietly against decades of pressure. I thought I had inherited a tax burden. Instead, I had inherited a weapon. The crunch of gravel echoed across the water as a white Escalade rolled up behind me. Out stepped Cordelia Ashworth Banks, Willowbrook HOA president. Dressed in designer beige like she was headed for a country club photo shoot. She smiled with the kind of polished condescension only money can buy. "Oh, honey. You must be Ezra's nephew. I'm Cordelia. Welcome to Willowbrook Estates. Your new neighbors." Neighbors? She made it sound like an invitation. But the way her hawk-like eyes scanned the lake, I realized it was more of a threat. Her clipboard snapped open. "All this swampland is such a burden. I'd like to help you. $15,000 cash next week. You walk away before legal troubles start." I laughed in her face. "This land has been in my family since 1923. I'll hold on to it." Her smile froze, then sharpened into steel. "I certainly hope you've done your research on county ordinances. Environmental violations, boundary disputes. They can get very expensive." As she drove away, her Escalade kicking dust into my face, I noticed something fluttering against the fence. Architectural plans, Willowbrook Lake Resort. Phase 1. 79 luxury cabins. That's when I knew they weren't just neighbors. They were predators. 3 days later, a certified letter landed in my lap. Cordelia had filed a complaint against me, claiming my dam posed imminent danger to downstream properties. Her evidence? A fraudulent survey, signed by her brother-in-law, Randy Banks. According to it, my lake had magically expanded overnight, swallowing up HOA land. I drove to the courthouse, digging through dusty files like a desperate prospector. And there it was, the original 1923 federal land grant. Every boundary, every water right, every single acre. And to my shock, it showed a 200-foot buffer zone cutting straight through Willowbrook's precious tennis courts, pools, and walking paths. For 15 years, they had been squatting on federal land. The more I dug, the dirtier it got. Every family who refused to sell out to Cordelia had mysteriously been hit with violations. Her concerned citizen complaints were rubber-stamped by her tennis partner, Margaret Chase, the county planning director. It was corruption. Polished, manicured, hidden behind HOA bylaws and fake smiles. That's when I remembered Uncle Ezra's letters to the State Water Authority. He had written for 40 years, documenting every repair, every irrigation permit. His dam wasn't just legal. It was bulletproof, and suddenly, so was I. When the Jensen surveying team confirmed the GPS boundaries, their lead engineer paled. "Jesus, Wade. Their entire neighborhood is built on your land." That night, I stood at the dam, my hands on the old steel controls. Ezra's handiwork. 40 years of pressure groaning behind it. The question burned in my mind. What do you do when the rich and powerful steal from you, thinking you're too broken to fight back? My answer was simple. You remind them who owns the water. And now, I had the proof. The night sky was silent except for the banshee scream of rusted gears as I cranked open the floodgates. The roar of water followed, a beast finally unleashed after decades in chains. Cordelia's voice still haunts me, the shrill, panicked shriek as she stood in her $800 Louis Vuitton boots, watching muddy water rise over her kingdom of lies. Fountains collapsed. Tennis courts crumbled. Luxury mansions turned into islands, then corpses of wood and drywall. 20 years of greed drowned in a single night as Thornfield Lake reclaimed what was always mine. The stench of cattails and swamp water mixed with the sweat of her panic. And me? I just watched, silent, avenged. Because when the U.S. government hands you a deed in 1923, not even the most corrupt HOA queen can take it away.